Here it's raining, which at least is better than, rockets falling from the sky, I guess. So let's hope that the rain keeps those kind of things from falling, because that's never fun. But yeah, the news on the Bitcoin front, right? This just in from the front, from our man in the field. And if you look at what's happening with MicroStrategy, right, they just announced on the 17th of November that they just acquired a whole bunch more Bitcoin. It's one of their biggest buys. I think their biggest buy to date over the last 4 years. And I think in that buy, they bought something like 20-25% of all the Bitcoin they've ever bought, even at the $88,000 price. But now they have well over 300,000 Bitcoin that they're holding at MicroStrategy. So their shareholders are obviously loving it, because they're seeing very nice returns, obviously, on the strategy. And obviously, there are going to be good days and good years. And there's going to be, tougher years when the returns go down and they don't sell them. If they don't sell them, if they don't sell them at highs, to take their profits and scoop them up at lows, because they're not a trading company, right? So they don't necessarily know how to trade the VEPs. They're not exactly the smart money in that sense. They're the smart money in the investor sense, right? They just buy and hold. Which, if you have a long-term horizon, is a smart strategy. If you know you're buying an asset that will be very probably worth more as time goes on. And, if it's another 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, however long it takes, to just keep buying all they can buy, right? At some point, when 99% or more of all the Bitcoin is mined, then, whatever is left will be fought over and bought by by companies that really want it, and also by traders who are really willing to buy it and sell it, and occasionally maybe some retail investors. But by the time 99% of it is mined, when you already have about 95% of it is already mined, right, or just about 95% is already mined, the remaining 4% to mine before you get to 99%, that's going to happen probably within the next 15 years, 20 years, something like that. So either by 2030, 2040, 2050, who cares what the number is? It doesn't matter. Sometime in the next, 20, 25 years, let's say, there are 4 out of the remaining 5%, 80% of what's left to be mined will be mined. And then from that point forward until, roughly 2140, the last 1% will be mined. Now, you got to keep in mind, it doesn't really matter, because the 4 or 5% that are left to be mined, they don't even come close to the vast, substantial sums that are effectively lost, right? So they don't make up for the shortfall of what's lost, not even close. We passed that time long ago already in terms of what was left to be mined versus what was already lost. So what happened is when Michael Saylor, or rather when his company MicroStrategy, did their last round of buying, which is what happens anytime anybody buys really any Bitcoin, especially when whales do it, because they buy large sums, right? When MicroStrategy buys 30,000 Bitcoin or whatever, they've just denied 30,000 people the ability to ever own a whole coin. And forget that, They've denied God knows how many, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe more, to own any amount of Bitcoin. And, meanwhile, you got them saying, oh, Bitcoin's great, you should get Bitcoin. Then why are you buying all the Bitcoin, bro? If you want people to own it, you got to let them buy it. You already have, he already had more than 1% of it when he had when he passed 210,000. When MicroStrategy, he had more than 1% of it, right? Is 1% not enough? Now they're at like more than 1.5%. Will they get to 2% soon? And keep in mind, I'm not like dissing just them, but Michael Saylor puts himself out there as a Bitcoin maxi. He calls himself a Bitcoin maxi, which is funny because he's really not. Michael Saylor is a greed maxi, right? And so are all these other huge whales. They are greed maxis, the ones who are buying up all the Bitcoin. Right? BlackRock holds over BlackRock holds over 1 million Bitcoin, right? They have around as much, maybe more now, who knows, as Satoshi Nakamoto, who has reportedly between 1 and 1.1 million Bitcoins scattered throughout a bunch of wallets. And all of his wallets pretty much had 50 Bitcoins in them, because every time he would mine a block, he would automatically create a new wallet for that block, reward to be put into. So that's why he has so many different wallet addresses, which if you think about it is really smart, right? That way, if any of his wallets ever got hacked, well, it wouldn't be all of them at once. And even though they were worth practically nothing when he was mining them, it was still a smart idea, because even back then, by the time he left the Bitcoin community, already it was worth more than nothing. And so having 1 million times even like 10 cents is already $500,000, dollars or whatever, for $100,000, I mean. And when it was worth 50 cents, it was already $500,000. And when it was worth $1, it was already $1 million. So smart to put them in different wallets and not keep it all in one place, because that keeps it all very secure. Now, the funny thing is, maybe I'll give away information here, but what the hell? Why not send you guys on a bit of an Easter egg hunt if you want? There's always people looking for, if only I could find one of Satoshi's wallets, then I'd have 50 Bitcoin, I'd be rich. Yeah, okay. First of all, there weren't any hardware wallets back then, okay? It was either a paper wallet, or really what people mostly did is they used the wallet software, right? The Bitcoin wallet, the original Bitcoin wallet, software wallet that comes with the Bitcoin code, right? When you install a Bitcoin node on your computer to mine Bitcoin, there's a wallet. And that is the wallet that people used, obviously, before there were other wallets. And there were no, like I said, hardware wallets, right? So that should give you a big clue about Satoshi's wallets, right? That his information is stored in what are effectively software wallets, which tells you something about how they were stored and what that means. If you know, you know. But yeah, I find that very interesting, because a lot of people tend to overlook that fact. A lot of people just presume but they're looking for Satoshi's hardware wallets if they ever go on an Easter egg hunt for Satoshi's wallets. You're not going to find Satoshi's wallets on any hardware wallet because those things just weren't around when he was mining his coins. Right? So, yeah, keep that in mind. The probability is exceedingly high that his Bitcoins were on a drive of some kind. A laptop drive, an external drive, computer drive, it doesn't matter. Some kind of drive. The question is, right, even if anybody found it, would they be able to find the relevant information to get into each wallet? Because I bet you probably don't even know how that old information was stored. But anyway, maybe I'll let you Google it. You know what? I'll let you Google it, and maybe I'll tell you in a later video if you haven't figured it out by then. I wonder if you ask ChatGPT, would it tell you the truth? Probably not. It does have a tendency to lie, right, as we all know. Anyway, so yeah. So Michael Saylor just made sure that his company, MicroStrategy, denied something like 30,000 people the rights to acquire or the ability to acquire any Bitcoin ever at any point in the future, if he intends to just have his company hold them and never sell them. And if they would surely do that at a relative high.
Returns are high, and the price is quite high.
Already out of the market, and buy them back at a low, because that is exactly what smart money does. Of course, active trading fund companies do that more than just investment companies, but investment companies do it. Anyway, that's going to do it for now, folks. See you guys later. Happy Bitcoining.